Over the years, I've been blessed to work with some of the biggest artists in the music industry. But for me, one of the coolest experiences I've had as a producer is working with first team All-Pro safety, CJ Gardner-Johnson. Even if you're not an NFL fan, it's super dope to acknowledge a pro athlete getting out there and doing something else at a top tier level. And to be honest, there aren't many pro athletes out there that can rap, especially on his level. In this video, I'm going to break down the story of exactly how I locked in with him and how I built a relationship over time. I think there's a lot of things to learn from the story. And best of all, I'll talk about how you can work with your favorite athletes, brands, or influencers. So make sure to watch until the end. The story begins April 18th, 2022, when I woke up to a DM on Instagram. At the time, he was playing for the Saints, and right away I recognized the profile picture, and I honestly couldn't believe it. Basically, my entire life I played American football, so having an actual player hit me up was surreal. After my emotions cleared a little bit, logic came back into play. I was really confused on why an NFL player would be hitting me up in the first place, because if you think about it, 2 years ago there really weren't any pro athletes that were going out and rapping like you see nowadays. But when I opened the message, he showed me a video and he asked if it was my tag inside of one of the songs that he had made. The song that he showed me would actually turn out to be our first collaboration that he ever put out, called Grammy Nominated.
Free my brother out that cell. Selling dog food, you know he ain't made no bell. I'm cruising in the hell, got hope and all is well.
The song was really dope for me personally. Not only was I able to brag to my friends that I got a song with an NFL player, but it's a really dope placement to have on my resume. One thing that I did want to highlight is it took him about a year to release that first song after he first initially hit me up. After all, his team was extremely busy making it to the Super Bowl that year, but I knew a few weeks after the season he'd get bored and he'd get back to recording, so I had to take my chance and hit him up again to get the ball rolling again. That's when I asked him if the original song Grammy Nominated was done yet, and he actually gave me his number during this conversation, which made it so much easier to contact him. And best of all, I could send beat packs all the time now. Locking in an artist number is absolutely the best way to work with them because text has such a high open rate compared to email or DMs. So at this point, I would constantly send him beats to stay top of mind. This was a huge turning point in the relationship, and I don't think it would have been possible if I pestered him all the time during the season, or if I even asked him for his number myself. Personally, when I go into any conversation with someone of higher status, I don't want to ask for anything. I just want to show the value that I can provide. In this case, that was the beat packs that I would send him all the time, which he obviously liked. As soon as he sent me his number, I knew we were truly locked in, and I played my cards right. From here, we would FaceTime every once in a while and talk about the upcoming project he had, which would be called Raply. We worked on a lot of songs for about a year before he released that album. 2 of these songs would be singles that I helped produce. One was called Can't See Me.
Stitchy, diamonds, rich, money coming in too, so I can't see you. All of my diamonds, they come out the freeze. I'm causing the Drake's in the ref, you can't see me, yeah.
And the other was called Lullaby.
You gotta know. Doing the dash, you know they can't see me on the meter. Broken heart, you know I'm sipping drink, got the leader.
At this point, he was very close to dropping his project Raply, but he had also moved to Detroit to play with the Lions at this time. This was huge because Detroit is one of the biggest rap cities in America, and he actually locked in with some of the biggest artists in the city. Artists like VZ, Babyface Ray, and Skilla Baby. This obviously opened up a lot of opportunities for myself while he was getting work in with these artists. As of right now, I don't know if I have placements with these artists, but I do know that he absolutely gave me the opportunity to send beats for them, which is insane, and I'm incredibly grateful. And I almost forgot, he actually did hook me up with Lil Baby's producer, Twisted Genius, as well, and now I can send stuff to him too. Overall, these are just some of the perks of building a relationship with someone who knows everyone. That's why I always preach networking with the smaller artists that have connection to the bigger artists that you want to work with. This could even be A&Rs or engineers. With all of this going on, he finally dropped Raply, and I got one song on there with my boy Tim Penny Beats. The song is called Antisocial.
Cartier diamonds on glow, $250,000, half a ticket spent on the roads. I said,
and this is one of my favorites. Overall, I wanted to share this story because I thought it was a great example of building a relationship with someone over time. Networking is crucial nowadays, and I don't want producers that watch my channel to only hit someone up once and forget about them after a week. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because I've absolutely done that before, but since I've made those mistakes, I've realized how important long-term relationships are, and they're absolutely the reason that I've gotten a ton of placements over time. It's been 2 years since I originally locked in with him, and since then, his brand has blown up a lot, and mine has gotten bigger, as well as what I have to offer him has gotten better and better. There's gonna be opportunities for all parties involved, and he's gonna wanna rock with the producers that he started with at the beginning of his journey as an artist. Just like how Future and 21 Savage always go back to Metro, if you connect with these artists early, you can open up way more opportunities for yourself than you ever thought possible. Obviously, it's not every day that you come across pro athletes that need beats, but I did want to go over how I actually started working with CJ in the first place. He actually found me and my beats off of YouTube or BeatStars, and he downloaded the free for nonprofit version, recorded on it, and then that's when he went and messaged me. Now, I'm sure you were expecting some really unique networking tip on how to get these influencers, brands, or athletes to get on your stuff, but I only have one that has worked for me every single time. Just putting your music in as many places as possible. If I didn't upload Type Beats, I wouldn't have got this placement with CJ Gardner-Johnson. I wouldn't have got my Soulja Boy placements, and big influencers like Snore That Dude would have never found me to hit me up for beats. If I never sent out loops every day for a year, I wouldn't have gone gold in Europe, I wouldn't have gotten on the A&P Cypher, and I wouldn't have landed countless other placements. If I didn't work with smaller artists, I wouldn't have got my G Herbo, Nardowick, and Skilla Baby placements. I'm not saying this stuff to brag, I'm explaining all the different ways that I've gotten placements to show that placements come in so many different shapes and forms, and you really just have to be everywhere. There's some producers who are watching this right now who are only targeting one side of the industry, and you're just missing out on so many opportunities for yourself. I say this from experience because my first 2 years I did that. I only made Type Beats for 1 year, and I only made loop kits for 1 year, and I virtually had no luck at all when it came to landing placements. And then it's no secret at all when I switched to putting my music everywhere, loop kits, Type Beats, content, sending out loops every day, that I went from virtually 0 to 31 major placements in 2 years' time. This includes the unique cases of athletes, brands, and influencers using my stuff too. If you think about it, it's incredibly hard to find these athletes, influencers, or brands because initially they don't put out music themselves. So you need to make it super easy for them to find you above everyone else. There's one more method that's not really talked about that I did want to mention though. There are tons of brands and influencers that are looking for background music and royalty-free sounds. This can be used for their shorts or their long-form YouTube videos. They might not necessarily be rappers, but you could charge a big fee for them to use your beats in their podcasts, in their videos, or their short-form content. This could be a one-time fee, or you could also charge a monthly fee where you constantly give them new beats to use. If you're gonna do this, you could definitely hit up the person, the athlete, the brand, or the influencer themselves, but the chance that they answer is pretty low. So I definitely recommend trying to find out who their manager is and hitting them up instead, because they're a lot easier to find. This is an extremely lucrative way of making money as a producer because it's virtually unsaturated and there's no competition at all. So if you're interested, go try it out for yourself. I talked a lot about how I like to network with major artists in this video, so if you're interested in learning the exact strategies that I did use to scale from 0 to 31 major placements in 2 years, then make sure to go check out this video where I break everything down, every strategy that I've ever used.